I think I did something when I did something. I hope I didn't affect it. I think I did something when I did something. Okay, no. I didn't affect it. I think I did something when I did something. Okay, no, I didn't affect it. I did something when I did something. Okay, no, I didn't affect it. Okay, they can hear it in here. What's the next beat? Yeah, that's what they taking me. Now I'm here. You can't hear me? You see, you can't hear me, Kizzy? Oh, it was working. Can you hear me? Oh.
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
No.
I was able to hear you at the
You
end.
can hear me?
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it was something
I
that
can't hear nobody. Let me hold on.
it was me.
Oh,
Kizzy, can you go ahead and talk so I make sure I can hear you?
I am. Can you hear me? Hold on.
Because that was me earlier. It was playing, but I don't know what was going on. Technical difficulties. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? Darren, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me? No?
I see the microphone going, but I can't hear you. Hold on. Oh, let me check on this. Hold on. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, my voice is not clear. Okay. Hold on. Okay, they can hear it. Okay. Hold on. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Hello?
Okay. You playing on here, but I can't hear you for some reason. You playing on here, but I can't hear you for some reason. You playing on here, but I can't hear you for some reason. You playing on here, but I can't hear you for some reason. Hold on, let me check this. Hold on, let me check this. Go ahead and do it. We're gonna do a test real quick.
Hello?
Go ahead and test. I can hear you, kids. I mean, I can hear you on the Facebook. We're gonna do a test real quick. Go ahead and test. I can hear you. I mean, I can hear you on the Facebook. I can hear you. You can just turn your volume up just a little bit more. Yes. I can hear you. You can just turn your volume up just a little bit more. Yes.
So with just going over what we've seen on Volunteer Match, tell us a little bit about yourself, what your overall goal is, and what you're looking to actually gain from joining us in the organization.
Yeah.
Let me check. This might be a sit-in. Hey, Gail. Welcome.
And I'm actually
I can't hear
from Chattanooga, Tennessee. So it's only about 2 hours away, hour, 30 minutes, depending on where you're going. I graduated from the Tennessee State University. So
okay, can you hear me?
Texas State. I feel some type of way about history for you.
Okay, can you speak, Kizzy?
Where I majored in psychology and nonprofit management. So
Hello?
Okay. Oh.
You can hear me?
I don't did something to the computer when I had
Hello?
Output. Oh, that's me. Okay. Never mind, that's me. My output was low.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it was me. My output for some reason was down.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's totally me. Okay.
So I'm clear now.
Yes, it was totally me.
Okay.
Okay, we are get started. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We are live on Facebook. I'm finna mute. Facebook. I'm finna mute. and share screen, get my pump going, music up real quick, get the energy going. Yeah.
I love you.
Oh,
Oh, I know I was on.
that Chef, we love him too, man. You have a good day. We're gonna share this desktop. Matter of fact, for the sake of not sharing the desktop, we're gonna share the iPad.
You have started screen share.
There we go. All right, we're about to get loaded. I'm putting my phone is on, so we're gonna use the music from the phone. All right, hold on, there we go. We are going to play the theme music this morning, the theme music, the theme song.
Mama always told me, baby, you gotta walk by faith and not by sight. Real talk. You gotta listen.
You have stopped screen share. You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen to me now. I'm gonna say it now.
Your screen sharing is paused.
What are we talking about? I've been so strong. I dirt on my name. I'm still.
You have stopped screen share.
Don't you make it stronger.
You have started screen share. Your screen sharing is paused. These humans entered the waiting room. Close, admit, view. Press C and D plus U to manage the waiting room. Your screen share is loading. Your screen sharing is paused.
Oh, that noise gonna bother me.
You have stopped screen share.
All right, y'all. I'm still standing, 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 standing. I'm still standing, 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 standing.
I had a lot to take it on in front of me.
You have started screen share.
And now I'm deep in love with who I belong. They say with age comes wisdom, and the white flag I can't feel from. Trying to tell you how it's supposed to be. See, this is more than just a song to me.
Yes, we're all still here and still standing for your purpose. We're still standing, standing, standing. I'm still standing. Yes.
the things they said I did, but I'm not who they say I am.
I'm not who they say I am.
I'm still standing like the Statue of Liberty, and I
Yes,
put my
we're
name
still
in it.
standing here.
So
Don't
you
ever
forever
remember me.
Remember me as the toughest warrior or the ultimate fighter. Cause I'm the truth and nothing but it, like my hands on the Bible. And it's the survival of the fittest. The realest is not a facade. Still standing on my two feet.
Because I'm a child of God. Do this. So I want to welcome everybody to our SuperWoman Still Standing Women's Day. I'm so excited to have y'all here today. I'm so excited for my guests to be on here today, even though we have some typical difficulties, but we are going to keep on moving. Today is September the 8th. It is a day to remember you, the woman that is still here and still standing for your purpose, And I started SuperWoman StillStanding Women's Expo in 2017. I know I'm probably getting ahead of everything, but let me go according to what my list, how I have everything. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So before we get started, we are going to do some housekeeping before we even get started. Text 478-992-0122 to let me know what you are still standing from. I want to know if you're still standing from domestic violence. I was realizing that I had a lady to tell me what she was still standing from, and that gave me the thing to let me go ahead and do this, because one lady, and I'm going to share this with you, what she said that she was still standing from, and this was a couple of years ago. It's in my memories on Facebook. She's an older lady. She had went through some things that year, went through a lot of things, and that's what we have to celebrate, us, you, the woman that is still here and still standing for your purpose. So she said, I'm still standing since, this was in 2020 when she sent it to me. I'm still standing since February 2019. I became a widow, had 3 eye surgeries, lost a lot of eyesight, was diagnosed in July with breast cancer, had surgery on my birthday, 8/22, and I'm still standing now, cancer-free. These are the things that we have to celebrate ourselves for, celebrate what God has done for you in your life. Not necessarily by celebrating yourself, it's celebrate the God that's within you, what he has done for you, how he has overcame some things in your life, and he has allowed you to still be here, still be capable, and still be standing for your purpose. And so the number to text is 478-992-0122 to let me know what you are still standing from. But congratulations, you have made it. Congratulations, you have made it to September the 8th of 2023. You need to celebrate that you have made it thus far from whenever your beginning date was. Mine is 1979. From 1979, that sounds like a long time. Jesus, say 19 something. From 1979 to 2023, you have made it. You are still here. You are still capable. You still have breath in your body, and you need to congratulate yourself on that, because some folks didn't make it, especially with COVID. COVID took out a lot of people and still is continuing to take out some people, unbeknown to them, from the complications of what they had. And so you're still here. You really do need to congratulate yourself. And also with that, congratulate other women. All right, we got our speakers already on here. A few of our speakers. We got Kizzy, we got Gail, we got Miss Lisa. We got whoever is on the Facebook Live in their Facebook group, and whoever watches this recording. You are still here. You need to congratulate you. You need to call somebody, text somebody right now on the phone or later on today and say, "Hey sis, I'm proud of you. Hey sis, you're a good mother. Hey, sis, you're a good auntie. Hey, you're doing good. I see that you've been working your job for 5 or 6 years. Congratulations, because folks nowadays don't want to work. Folks are getting fired or not staying on their jobs. I've been on my job 17 years this year. I'm looking forward to for the next 3 years when I hit my 20th. But you need to celebrate the small stuff. We are so not saying all over the place, but we just so busy and just on the go that we only celebrate ourselves again 3 times, or people only celebrate us 3 times too: Mother's Day, your birthday, and your death day. But if you're still here and you're still standing, one of the things I want you to realize is to take the time to celebrate you every day. I'm not sure if you remember Alice in Wonderland. She said there's 364 unbirthdays. You get one birthday, but Superwoman Still Standing is all about being a woman that celebrates you, celebrate others, because we as women, no matter the color, white, black, or whatever, we all go through similar situations because we deal with work. We deal with children, we deal with husbands, we deal with significant others, we deal with people all over the place in different organizations, and that can be tiresome. Childbirth, it can be tiresome. And I want to congratulate you on still being here in 2023, September the 8th. So if you don't know who I am your girl Theron. I am a mother, I am a Gigi, I'm an auntie. That's who I am as a whole person, but I am your girl Theron. I am originally from Connecticut, been in Georgia since I was 10 years old, went to high school, graduated college in 2001, had my first son. He's not in the picture though. I gotta get an update picture, but with him. But had my son in 2002. That's when I started this journey of motherhood and learning on different things. I am an IT professional. I've been an IT professional for 21 plus years. I have two boys, Jacob and Javon. Jacob just graduated high school in May. I'm so proud of that. I want to celebrate that fact. You see the picture of us right there on his first day of moving in to Gordon College here in Georgia. My oldest son has given me the blessing of being a Gigi. I have two boys, y'all, and I got a grandbaby. I got a granddaughter, and she is the love of my life. I am a active grandparent. She was born to teenage parents, so you know how that goes. So I am the grandparent. Grand means better, so I am the better of parents. I am the better mother, and so I take absolute pride in my granddaughter. She's in dance. I take pride in womanhood. One of the things that I do want to state is that I value womanhood now. I do a lot of women events. If you see at the bottom of the screen, it says the State of Womanhood Address. That's what I do in March. I put on two, to me, big events that I do. The other ones are like kind of small events, but I do two big events throughout the year. And that is what we're in here now in October, the Superwoman Still Standing Women's Expo and Events. And the State of Womanhood Address that will be in March in honor of Women's History Month. So I'm also the owner of Women Empower Media. That is the an empowerment and business support agency for female entrepreneurs. I'm clicking on. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta get used to me being on here. I'm clicking on there. A little bit is delayed. Let me see how delayed it is. But the next slide is we're talking about Superwoman Still Standing. Superwoman Still Standing was founded and established in 2017. Let me make sure that it is. Has a jet lag.
Venetia Waters entered the waiting room. Close, admit, view. Press CMD plus U to manage the waiting room. Venetia Waters has entered the waiting room. Press CMD plus tilde to open pop-up or go to the participants panel to admit participant. You have stopped screen share. You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Okay, again, for those that are just coming in, text 478-992-0122 to let me know what you are standing from. Okay, so Superwoman Still Standing was founded in 2017. If you don't know about me, I'm very active in the community and active in different things. And so when God put it on my heart, I was like, God, like we can do it next year, like 2018.
These humans, to me, there is a way to shut that off. However, I am not sure how.
Okay. God I'm like, God, we can do it next year. Like, we can do this next year. But God said, no, it's up to me. It's not about me, but it's up to me to go ahead and get it done. And I'm like, when we gonna do it, God? Because I already had stuff lined up. And we did it. We first SuperWoman Still Standing is the first 2 pictures. We did it in 2017, August, my birthday month of 2017, here in Warner Robins, Georgia. It was a successful event for me. We took over the whole entire building. We had speakers, panelists, vendors, and we also had small classes. As you can see, we the pictures down below, or the different pictures from
Kizzy McCrae Shepherd to everyone.
from the different
Text 478-912-0122 to let Kevin know what you are still standing for.
As you can see, the different pictures we got Kizzy. Kizzy was at the last one as a panelist. That she came all the way from Florida to support your girl. She came down, and I'm so happy that she did in 2021. But SuperWoman Still Standing is all about you, the woman who's still here and still standing for a purpose. SuperWoman Still Standing is an advocate for all women. Okay. I said I am what is it? I'm sexist first, right? So I'm all about the women. I vote women on the ticket. I'm all about women's rights and women, because we go through so much. Again, no matter the nationality, there's only one race, and that's the human race for me. And so I just want to stand up for women. I want us to celebrate us. I want us to come together, because we got to come together. There's more when you come together. There's a force when you come together. And so that's what all SuperWoman Still Standing is about. I got the official t-shirt. So as you see, I got the SuperWoman Still Standing shirt on in there that was purple, that had the Superwoman sign, but I know it's going to get bigger, so I can't use somebody's trademark sign. So that's what I came up with, the sword. And this is the official one, purple on purple. This shirt was made by a woman. These earrings were made by a woman. Small business support. Yes. A woman did this shirt. Another woman, she was a vendor at my event in October, did these earrings. I'm all about supporting us women in the business. So let's talk about, before we really get started, the mindset of a superwoman. The mindset of a superwoman. There's almost like a bad reputation sometimes of being, you think you're a superwoman. Yes, a superwoman is the quality of a woman. If you look at the word super, it's the quality of a woman. Not that you can do go 100% all the time. No, it's the quality of woman. And a superwoman is a resilient woman. We withstand, grow, and recover from life's and I want to call life, because at the end of the day, life does happen. Things are not always going to be perfect in our lives, even though we want them to be, even though we want, I'm going to use my story. We want our children to come out right. We have raised them. But if you don't know, my oldest son was in the juvenile justice system before. He's now in the Georgia system right now. Even though we raised our 2 children the right way, one chose to go another way, but at the end of the day, God knows the plans for his life. And I know, and I trust and believe that everything will work out, and will have a testimony. And even though I was going through that, and my friends, that is still a hard thing for me to talk about, because he's currently in there in a bad place in Clayton County, but I'm still here. I'm still moving. I still have things to do. And that's how a superwoman is resilient. We keep on going through life. Life might set us down for a minute. We may take a pause for a minute. We may got to sit back for a minute, but we're going to bounce back. We're going to recover and move forward. That is one mindset of a superwoman. Another mindset of a superwoman is we seek help. We seek help for the things that we need in our lives. If you need to hire a cleaner to help clean the house because you're overwhelmed with some things, we seek help. If you need to seek a therapist because you need to because you need to talk to somebody. Because I know for me, when I started my therapy back in 2016, I needed that because I was going through something with my strong-willed oldest son and my ex-husband, going through the things of him being a teenager, rebellion and doing his stuff, and his dad being a man, but still they were just clashing, and no one was thinking about me. They think I'm taking my son's side, I'm taking his dad's side, my ex-husband telling my dad I'm taking my son's side, and I was torn in between that, and I needed to get help on my mindset. I can literally see how and why some people go through midlife crisis or go through mental breakdowns, because mentally sometimes you be thinking stuff all over the place, and that can, because you don't get it out, you're not expressing your emotions, and that can really harm us. The mindset of a superwoman is to get help. We seek help. And another mindset of a superwoman, we seek self-care. Well, I know there's a saying, why aren't the women nowadays like our grandparents or great-grandparents? Now, the women back in the day, I guarantee you they were tired. I can guarantee you they were tired. The women nowadays, we have more in life. Like the women back then, if you realize, the progression of a woman or the womanhood from us, we at one point in time, it hadn't been too much long ago, that hasn't even been over 100 years that we have had the ability to have a bank account, that we haven't had the ability to make our own money, to vote, and to maneuver how we were maneuvering in life now. Now, there are some things that is better, but we still got some more strides as far as money-wise, compared to our counterparts, our male counterparts doing the same exact job with almost the same exact credentials, and that money sometimes not matching. But we're going to stand and fight for what we believe in. A mind of a superwoman is in the mindset of family and friends. We look after our family and our friends to a certain degree, but again, we're not going to get walked on, but we do care. We do want the best for our children. We do want the best for our nieces and nephews. We do want the best. This is a mindset of a superwoman. Now, also a mindset of superwoman, we are classy. Look, I like to say we have ratchet and righteous thoughts, right? We have ratchet and righteous thoughts, not sexy red girl up in that ratchet, but we can get down and work some privately or at a gathering or at a party. We're not all out there like that because we have an image to maintain, but also in private or within our own circles, we act how we want to act amongst our friends, okay? Amongst our friends. This is the mindset of a superwoman. Again, text 478-992-0122. Let me know what you are still standing from, and share this with somebody else too. Like, share this number. This number also, I send out inspirational, motivational text messages. I'll get that to the end, but if you're interested, also you can text this number and that goes directly to my phone. All right, guys, we are getting ready for our first guest. We got Miss Kizzy McCray coming out. Me and Kizzy, we go way back, right? I tell the story, back in the days of 69 Boys, I forgot who it was. You got Kizzy Rock in the house tonight and Jumping Jelly Tea. That's me. We have been friends since 1997. We met at Payne College. She is a highly sought after keynote speaker, minister, wellness expert, author, transformational coach, nurse practitioner, and soon to be doctor, and an Air Force veteran. Kizzy is one of the most innovative, influential, and impactful voices in motivational speaking today, leveraging over 25 years of leadership from her experience in the military and the nursing industry. Kizzy is on a mission to empower audiences and train individuals and corporations with transformational principles so they learn, they lead, and live a life of limitless possibilities personally and professionally while implementing self-care practices. As the CEO of Limitless possibilities now. Kizzy trains and equips women with the tools, strategies, and confidence that disrupt negative thought patterns through her Limitless Her Academy. She has been featured on many, many, many things: ABC, CBS, NBC, Foxy, O Weekly, and more. So I present to you, let me go and stop my screen share.
You have stopped screen share.
I present to you Miss Kizzy McCray Shepherd.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you, Sharon, Theron, for the warm welcome. I would like to just start off by saying to these super women here, and excuse my screen. Today I'm using a different device. I just want to let you all know that, and hopefully I'm looking clear to you all, but it's not looking so. It's a brand new device, so it's first time using it. But I want to start off by saying to you super women, you are a miracle. I am a miracle. Super women, you are looking at a miracle, but by his grace, I am here today before you. I want to get a show of hands out there, and even in the feed, just say, that's me, I have. If you know what it's like to be stressed. Well, I want to tell you about a day that I had when I was so stressed and I didn't listen to my body, and I almost lost my life. It took place about 3 years ago. At the peak of the pandemic, I was headed into the office, and along my drive, I enjoy listening to music. And so I turn up the radio and I hear, your miracle is on the way. Your miracle is on the way. As soon as the song ends, I scream from the top of my lungs, yes, Jesus, miracles, signs, and wonders. As I pull into the office parking lot, I begin to feel the most excruciating pain I have ever felt in my life. I muster up just enough energy and I exit the vehicle. And as I begin to walk, I feel a heaviness that falls over me like a ton of bricks. With each step that I take, I'm feeling heavier and heavier. I begin to profusely sweat. And by the time I make it to the door, my shirt is completely saturated and I am extremely weak. It was at that moment that I gave it everything that I got, and I pushed the door open and I fell to my knees. My colleagues rushed over to my aid. One called my husband and another called EMS, and I was rushed off to the local trauma center. Upon my arrival, I was asked all types of questions. I go to speak and I couldn't. I was slurring my words and foaming out of the mouth. I began to think to myself, what is happening? Kizzy, are you having a stroke? This can't be. I don't have high blood pressure. I'm in good health. And at that very moment, my husband was allowed into the back. He became my advocate. I looked at him with a great look of concern. Something is seriously wrong and something needs to happen now. As he stood up to go get the doctor, one doctor came in. He began to scan my abdominal area. And he turns to my husband and he says, her stomach is full of fluid. Oh my God, do you see the baby there in the uterus? And as he gets those words out, another doctor rushes in, and the second doctor begins to command the room. She says, we need to move now. We must save her life. At that time, everyone's rushing in. I have all types of IVs that are being started, and an arterial line is being placed. It is at that moment that I realized what is taking place. As a nurse practitioner, I knew all too well what was happening. They were stabilizing me for the OR. And then I hear, pressure bag, 2 units of uncross-matched blood stat. At that moment, I did the only thing that I knew how to do, and that was pray. And as I am praying to myself, God showed up in a mighty way. He brought his angel in the form of a male nurse, and he began to sing to me, nothing but the blood of Jesus. Those words were so reassuring. Yet, I was still facing an internal conflict. Everything was going through my mind. Kids, you had lists, you had dates and times and things that you were going to do, but you wanted to wait. You wanted to wait. And today may very well be your last day here on earth, but you wanted to wait. Then I began to say to myself, what would my family do? What would my husband do without his wife, my son without his mother, and my mother without her only daughter? It was at that moment, Superwoman, that I chose faith over fear and to stand on the word of God, to walk by faith and not by sight, knowing that I would be okay, whether I was here or whether I was there in the next world. So I'm going to fast forward for you, Superwoman. The next day, I was visited in my room. And that is where I learned that I had lost over half of the blood in my body. I had lost 3 liters of blood. And as women, we only have 4.5 to 5 liters of blood in our body. It was at that moment that I realized that I was the very same miracle that I was just singing about less than 24 hours prior. Superwoman, I want to say to you that no matter what you're going through, the blood of Jesus never loses its power. It was nothing but the blood that saved me. So as the doctor finishes explaining to me, not only did I lose over half of the blood in my body, that my blood pressure was as low as 50s over 30s. I began to think to myself that God had given me the gift of life, a second chance, and I had a second chance to get it right. Another opportunity to live life mastering marriage, parenting, business, and health, and to live out my dreams. But in order for me to do that, and like so many other superwomen, in order to do that, I had to grab a hold of the missing piece of the puzzle. And that piece was self-care. See, I had forgotten about me. I was busy doing everything else for everybody else, but not for me. I had forgotten about the importance of self-care. And as I began to reflect, I realized that I wasn't going to regular doctor's appointments. I was self-treating because, hey, I'm a nurse practitioner. I guess I thought I knew it all, right? You know how some of us begin to think, superwomen. We have that ancestral inheritance, like I like to call it. And so we think that we can handle it all because grandma did it, mama did it, great-grandma did it. You heard about great-great-grandma, so you think that you can do it too. And as I continued on, I realized that I wasn't exercising on a regular basis. I would exercise a little here and a little there, but it wasn't regular like I once was. I had developed some unhealthy eating habits. And we often say that life happens, right? But in fact, we have choices in life as well. I was under so much stress, both physically and mentally, that I was neglecting me. I was neglecting patient number 1, and that was me. I didn't listen to the signs that something was wrong because I wanted to continue going for everyone else. I didn't want to fail anyone. If they asked me, it was a yes and never a no. And I truly believe that my lack of self-care led and played a major role into what transpired on March 27th 2020. Today, I choose to be intentional, Superwoman. I'm intentional with my time. I'm intentional with my life. No more self-neglect. How many of you out there, Superwomen, can say no more self-neglect? I would like to discuss with you 5 elements of self-care. There's another one, but I won't have as much time to go over that one. And that I will just mention that one first, and that's financial care. So important, Superwomen. But the 5 elements that I will be discussing with you and the various ways to implement them are: 1, being emotional care. How have you been channeling your emotions? Are you letting things build up? Or are you finding healthy ways to manage your emotional well-being, such as talking with a friend, journaling, or speaking with a counselor? Yes, a counselor. Stress is the 6th leading cause of death, resulting in heart disease, strokes, cancers, accidents, and suicides. Which brings me to physical care and mental care. Are you going to regular doctor's appointments? Are you getting an adequate night's sleep? Eating a well-balanced diet? Are you exercising? Exercise improves your physical care as well as your mental capacity. Other mind-stimulating activities are listening to music, dancing. How many of you all like to dance? Reading a good book, or even doing arts and crafts. Let's not forget about social care. Doing those things, building relationships, such as a date night out, family game night, hanging out with your good girlfriends, or a girls' trip. Those are all ways that will assist with building healthy relationships. But then there is spiritual care. And I must say that again. Then there is spiritual care. Spending time nurturing your soul through prayer and meditation. Having a personal relationship is so important, to have that relationship with the higher power, because it is in difficult moments that a connection with that higher power will remind you that there is power in the blood for restoration, for healing, and for transformation. The blood will give you a new mindset, a new outlook on life. I don't know about you all, but I like to say, without my glasses, my vision is clouded. So without that spiritual connection, my visual is cloudy. But when I connect to that higher power, oh, mighty, 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 I am able to see clearly. I am able to think clearly. I am able to put faith over fear. See, self-care brings clarity and revitalization to the whole person, mind, body, and soul. If you desire to live life of limitless possibilities now, incorporate you in your schedule daily, even if it's only 10 to 15 minutes a day. It matters. You do not have to leave this summit today trying to master all levels of self-care. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time. And remember that small steps get you there. Remember, you are important. You are the important key to your success and your health. And a healthy you produces a successful and happy you. I hope that Superwoman, that you can take something from the nuggets that I've shared. And then the question that I like to leave with you all before moving to question and answers is self-care selfish or selfless, or is it both? I've been asked that several times. And I had to reflect on it, that so many of us don't want to do it because we think it's all just selfish. But guess what? And then you have people that think that it's all just selfless. But the more that I research it and look at it, it's both. Because if you're not selfish to take care of you during those times, that person that you tend to neglect so often, if you're not taking care of you, you can't be selfless to take care of everyone else. So does it have both components? Sure it does. It doesn't mean that you take care of only you and forget about everyone else, because that, in fact, would truly be completely selfish. But you have to have some component to take care of you in order for you to be selfless to take care of others. And before we leave, I like to tell you that when you don't do those things and you believe that it's selfless, you believe that you can't do it and you don't have time and you're running around like I was, you begin to be like this cup that I am poking holes in. And as you see these holes here, you're like a cracked vessel. Everyone says you can't pour from an empty cup. But my friend, you cannot pour from a damaged vessel either, because those things begin to seep where the cracks and the holes are. Superwoman, I want to see you live your life limitlessly. Incorporate self-care today. Thank you, Theron.
Thank you, Kizzy. Yes. Thank you for that. I got me some, took me a little notes. One of the things that I want to share that I got before we get to anybody else I want to share, is how we do neglect ourselves, right? Like, she's so right. We want to say yes and be available to everybody else. And then we kind of say no to ourselves and the stuff that we know that we should be doing. Like you mentioned about, you used to, before the incident happened in 2020, you were exercising here and there. Like, that really got to me, because I'm like, I know, and Charmaine, she's another wellness expert. It's something about y'all female veterans. It's like y'all into wellness. And so I know that for me too, I dibble and dabble in exercise that I do need to get better, especially as we get older. I was watching a documentary on Netflix called 100 Years, the Blue Zone. And it talks about people that are centurions. They're over the age of 100, and how they're able, they move a lot. And because we're a lot of stationary, that's why we're not living as much, because we're not moving as much in their everyday, doing everyday stuff, churning, making stuff from hand and making stuff from scratch and moving their bodies. We're not doing that because we got the convenience of these lovely air fryers and electronics and stuff. But are there any questions that for Miss Kizzy, or any reflections that anybody wants to share?
You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Does anybody want to share anything or a reflection? You can put it in the comments, or you can text that number and I can read it as well. Because one of the things Kizzy said, "There's no more, look," and we're gonna have Kizzy need to put out the t-shirt. No more self-neglect. No more self-neglect. No more self-neglect. Because we do, as women, sometimes we don't even realize this. It's not like we saying, "Oh, I want to neglect myself." It's not even that. It's the fact that we just got a lot of stuff going on. If you're a superwoman and you got children, you want to make sure they're seen about, their well-being is okay. If you're married, you want to make sure your husband well-being okay. And then if you had in different organizations, you're busy with Kizzy, she's a nurse practitioner, she got patients, got to make sure their well-being and all their stuff is in order, everything's dotted and crossed. But no more self-neglect and can you give us before we go, Kizzy, the 5, because I know you had spiritual care, but there's only 2 I wrote down.
So there's emotional care, there's physical care, there's mental care, there's social care, and there's spiritual care. And then the 6th one that I like to do as well, but I didn't touch on it today, is financial care. I like to also say that once everyone sees that you're beginning to incorporate you into your schedule daily, they begin to embrace that. My family embraces it. My 11-year-old even reminds me now, Mama, have you did this? Have you done that? Because they know what's important to me. So it's not that they want you to do everything. Once you begin to say, no, I need to do this, they embrace it as well. And as I said, with all this happening, this happened during COVID with me. And then when I went back to work and then I'm in the ICU, I began to stop every day and even go outside to soak up the sunlight. I just want to tell you all that it's just that simple. That's the part of self-care as well. We think it has to be something extravagant, like you have to go to the spa every day. You can create your own oasis in the comfort of your home. So if I'm not going to the spa, I put my bath bombs and do all this kind of stuff and set it up in my home and make sure I get that sunlight, because sunlight gives you, it resets your mind as well. And it takes you out, it can take you out of a dark place. If you're having those types of thoughts, you can go and get the sunlight and it just brightens everything up as well. So that's another nugget.
Touch on real quick before we go, the difference between emotional care and mental care. So
with emotional care, that's how you, for me, it's how you handle your emotions. Okay. You know, we have so much that goes on. We tend to internalize a lot as women, instead of finding ways and outlets to channel your emotions. If you're a person that journals and love to write, you know, from this, as you know, I have written now 3 books. You know, before all these things were, I used to journal, but they were kept in journals. And that's another thing too. So finding ways to do that. Hold on just a minute. Hold on. I'm having an issue. Also another, can you hear me? Okay. And mental care, for me, is that's that battlefield of the mind type thing that Joyce Myers talks about. Because for each of us, there's a fine line between sanity and insanity, and something can happen in your life that tips you over to the other piece. And you can begin to internalize all that stuff that I'm saying, not channeling your emotions, not going to speak to a counselor, that it can actually set you off balance. And now you can have a chemical imbalance that creates a mental issue as well. So that's the way I look at it. And by handling those mental things, by exercising, that helps you with your different hormonal levels and things like that. So we got to realize that mental care deals with your hormonal levels as well. It's so much in mental care. So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being a speaker. Let them know how they can stay in contact with you.
Okay, you all can get in contact with me through limitlesspossibilitiesnow.com, which is my website. You can also reach me on all social media.
Oh, I think she went out. She did. Something must have happened. Well, we're going to allow her to come back. I think something happened to her. We're having our next speaker to come up. Let me see if Kizzy has anything else she wants to say before we draw up our next speaker. Okay. Nope, she's gone. All right, so we got our next speaker coming up, Miss Charmaine Turner. I've been knowing Charmaine since when I started at Bio. That was like in 20, 2007. Yeah, oh my, that's a long time.
You got it.
We were working in the same organization. 2007, yes. But Charmaine is a motivational life coach and wellness strategist with a passion for equipping, empowering, and encouraging women, entrepreneurs, and professionals to win. Okay. Yeah, Kizzy said real quick, she said she's on her new laptop. She didn't just cut out on us. And encourage women and entrepreneurs and professionals to win in their personal and professional life. She's the creator of the 7-step mastery framework, where she teaches women to go intentional about their health and self-care, creating balance and embracing readiness and resilience. She is also the mother of 3 boys and 1 girl, correct? I got it right.
Yes.
She don't look like it, y'all. She does not look like it at all. She is a female veteran of the Air Force, all right? Air Force. And I'm just so excited to introduce and bring up Miss Charmaine Turner.
Yes. Look, I need to have some theme music in the background.
I know.
Yes, I love hearing Kizzy because we have so many similarities. So I love that. Thankfully I was able to go down and join her for her tea treat last year, which was fabulous.
Yes, you did. You were all connecting together. Yes.
Yes. So we were all there. And I'm always happy to support SuperWoman Still Standing. I love how you broke down the mindset of Superwoman, because many times people look at it and, I'll be the first one. I do not have an S on my chest, but when you break it down, we all have those mindset elements of a superwoman. We do have to go through. I think it's totally, it's an awesome thing to hear you be transparent about the hardships and the hard times in life, because life is not just straight and narrow. Like, there will be peaks and valleys. There will be hard times. There will be nights where we cry ourselves to sleep. There will be times where we're on our knees like, Lord, like, help me with this. So we have to be honest about that element of womanhood. And yes, men go through it, but it's something different that we go through as women. And so that's one thing that I love about SuperWoman Still Standing. So thank you so much for inviting me. When you said you were talking about resilience, that's my jam. That's my thing. Yes. So I'm always here for it. And today I just really want to talk to everybody about the importance of resilience. I know sometimes you see, I'm tired of being resilient. I'm tired of being strong, all of those things. But if you don't have that, you're not here. If you don't have that strength and you don't have that resilience, you couldn't be where you are today. And so many times we look at the hardships in our lives, like, Lord, if I myself look back, I grew up with a single mother. My father, they got divorced when I was like 2, so he was not in my life. It was myself and my brother. My mom, I watched her grind. Like, it wasn't even work. I watched her grind. She served in the military and she worked 2 jobs in addition to serving in the military. So there have been times where I spent the night at Church's Chicken because that's where she worked. I spent part of my night at a donut place because that's where she worked. We met my mom at Burger King to have dinner because that's where she worked. So resilience was passed down to me naturally. I couldn't run away from it if I wanted to, but we go through those hard times. And that's how I grew up in my younger years. And then I am a survivor of sexual assault. So I was able to deal with that. And again, be resilient. Not saying that it wasn't hard, because times are hard, most definitely, but thankful that I have that resilience to be able to overcome and continue on. So as Kizzy shared some of her story, my big awakening happened to me when I served in the Air Force. So my mom even says, you're an overachiever. I've always been that. That's always been me. I've always been that. They called me the golden child before I got out of the military, because on the outside, it appeared she has it all together. She's at the top. She's getting these awards. I was NCO of the year and volunteer of the year and Booster Club president. And I was the president of Airmen Against Drunk Driving. I was doing all of the things. Mind you, I was a single mother of 3 boys for the whole time going through the military. So I was focused. I got tunnel vision. And that's one thing that I want to foot stomp to everyone here. Be careful. Be careful when you get that tunnel vision. If you're an entrepreneur, sometimes we can get so focused on the business that we tone everything else out. We don't pay attention to anything. Like Kizzy said, self-care, what? You're up at 3 o'clock in the morning updating your website. You have not slept, you have not ate, you're skipping meals, all of those things because we get that tunnel vision. And that can be a dangerous place to be. And so that's where I was at. I was focused. I wanted my master sergeant stripe. You know, I was chasing my promotion. I was focused, checking all the boxes. Okay, bachelor's degree, check. Master's degree, check. I was doing all of it. And so just like Kizzy talked about how we ignore symptoms and signs. And that's what I did because, you know, in the Black and brown communities, you okay? Don't worry about it. You're fine. You know, that's how we deal with things. We ignore them. We minimize them. But our bodies give us the warning signals. Our bodies, we need to listen to because they're trying to see, hey, you're doing too much. You might want to slow down. But in the era that we're in, we go and we go hard. We're at all the things, every event, like I said, skipping meals, skipping sleep. Exercise is my walking. That's how people like exercise is me walking to the event. Exercise is me vending. Like, come on, you have to be intentional about movement. So thankfully, while I served, I still had to move my body, but the other elements were missing. There was no balance. So I would ignore the fluttering of my eyes. I would ignore the pain in my hands. I would ignore the fact that my blood pressure was going up little by little. I would ignore those things. Oh, it'll be okay. I'll slow down. I just brushed it off. And then I got orders from Georgia to Ohio. And when I moved to Ohio, I couldn't ignore the symptoms any longer. It got to the point where I would have migraines at my desk and my boss would be like, I'll shut off the lights, not go home or rest. I'll shut off the lights so that you can keep working. Footnote right here, they will replace you. If you're still working for an employer, please know that as soon as you leave, your job announcement will be posted. So just remember that part. But she would cut off the lights and, I'll try to do whatever I can. Okay. Then it got to the point where I couldn't work. I couldn't look at the monitor. The monitor would evoke the headaches, the migraines. And so I was going to the emergency room 3 and 4 times a month. Over-the-counter medicine wasn't helping. I would have to go get an IV medication. We had a cocktail. That's what it was. We had a cocktail. So it would be like some Toradol and Benadryl and anti-nausea. I had my cocktail, my trio. And that is what would help make the migraine subside. Well, you can't keep doing that, especially not in the military. So after maybe my 2nd or 3rd month doing this, a doctor said, you know what? I'm seeing you too often. We have to do a little bit of digging. And so that's what they did. They sent me to a neurologist. And I go to the neurologist, not thinking anything of it. He's going to give me some medicine. I'll be fine. So we went and he was like, no, I think we need to do an MRI. Okay, do the MRI. And I remember, y'all, clear as day, it was my son's 16th birthday. My boys, now mind you, I have one's birthday on December 8th and one on the 10th. They want to go to Red Lobster both days for each individual birthday. So I went on December 10th, 16th birthday for my son. I get a phone call about 6:30 from the base. So I'm like, who is calling me at this hour? I answer the phone. It's Colonel Nagasawa. This is my neurologist. I'm like, why is he calling at this time? So he said, I need to speak with you. I knew it was not normal to get a call at that time. So I grabbed my phone, stepped outside, went outside. He said, Charmaine, I just wanted to call and let you know I got the results from your MRI. So I'm like, okay. He says, you have lesions on your brain and spine. So let that sit for a minute. You have lesions on your brain and spine. What in the world? What does that mean? What are lesions? Like, I had no idea. So he elaborates for me and then finalizes the summation by saying, you have multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis. I know I heard it before. Don't people with multiple sclerosis end up in a wheelchair? Those are the things that I knew about MS. So inside, I'm going crazy, but I have to be contained because I'm the strong superwoman, remember? Supermom. So I got everything together and I walk back in, sit down, and I finished the birthday dinner. Everything contained, as I like to say, I put my makeup back on. So everything is good. So I finished my dinner with my 3 sons, like nothing is wrong. I go home, finish everything with them, have cake. They go to bed and I go in my room and I cry. What does this mean? I ignored all of these signs and symptoms, and it wasn't just me. It was my caregivers, my providers as well. They treated the symptoms and they didn't do the digging. And so that's another thing that I want you guys to take away from my conversation today. When it comes to your health, you ask, you push. Don't just take them at their word. Medicine, a lot of times, is just about treating symptoms and not digging and figuring out what is really going on. So you have to become a champion for your health because you're going to do it best. No one's going to do it better. You want to know what's happening in your body. You have to become a champion for your health. So fast forward, many tests, several months. Charmaine, we're going to retire you. Wait, I did all of these things on the list. My boxes were checked, remember? I did all of that. It didn't matter. They said, we're going to retire you and you're going to go about your business. And my job was posted within about 5 days. So just remember, no matter what, especially if you're in the workplace still, you have to look out for you. Now, let me bring this back to resilience, because many times we feel like, why do I have to be so strong? Why do I have to go through all those things? Why did I have to deal with that sexual assault? Why did my parents get divorced? Why was I homeless? Whatever you have gone through, when you go through all of that in your life and you still come out on top, when you're still here, as Theron was saying, still here September 8th, 2023, that should be a clue that you have purpose, that God has something more for you. It is not all in vain. My pastor likes to say, the pain, the trauma is not wasted. Nothing is wasted. And so I want to give you some light there. I know it can be hard. I shared my story and it was hard. And I dealt with depression for several months because I had a plan that I was grinding for. I was serious about my plan, but God had other plans. And this is where wellness comes into play, because during that time, I had that internal battle. I was emotional, I was angry, I was frustrated, I was depressed, all of those things. And like Kizzy and Theron both have said, a superwoman knows that she has to ask for help. Again, in our Black and Brown communities, many times that wasn't the case, especially if you were born in the 60s or 70s, there was no going to counseling. But today we know a counselor, a coach, a mentor, they're important in our long-term wellness. And so that's what I did. I went and I sought the counsel of a therapist. They were able to help me. And then once things settled down, God was able to say, hey, let me tell you what my plan is. And that's how my business was born. Exalting Wellness Coaching and Consulting was born because of my hardships and my time. God let me know, I'm not wasting this. You're going to take your experience and you're going to help other people. And that is what I am blessed to do. So just know that the stuff that you're going through or have gone through is not wasted if you can look at it the right way. So you have to have resilience first. You have to have that positive mindset. You have to find the positivity in there. Christian, not Christian, He still has a plan for you. He still has a plan. You're still here for a reason. There's still purpose for your life. But we have to get serious. And as Kizzy said, intentional about how we live, because there is more to life than wake up, work, pay bills, sleep. I promise you there is more to life than that. And when you have that tunnel vision, you're not living. When you have that tunnel vision, you are neglecting yourself and the people that you love the most. So we have to focus on balance, balance, balance. That is so important. You have to find balance in your life. How can I do this and still find time for self-care? How can I chase my dreams and still be a good mother? How can I, work on my business or climb that corporate ladder and still be a good wife, a good friend, a good daughter, soror, whatever you do? Balance is key. Balance is key. So I just wanted to stress to you guys today, as you're going through those hard times, don't hate the resilience and don't hate the strength. In fact, honor it. It's a superpower. When we're talking about being a superwoman, that resilience, that's a superpower because you need it. If you've already gone through so much, again, that's just a clue of what's to come. That's just a clue of the purpose that God has for you. I know it can be exhausting. I know it can be tiresome. I know you can get weakened and worn down, but it's all for a purpose. So if you hold on to the purpose and the positivity, those are the two things that can help you to get through. Those are the two things that will help propel you forward, knowing that I'm not just going through this because, this is what's in the cards for me, or it is what it is. We're not going to have that kind of attitude about it. We have to be intentional about how we're living and hold on to that purpose and hold on to the balance, because balance is necessary. So Kizzy gave you guys some great tips. One of the things that I would like to say when it comes to self-care is self-preservation. I think Audre Lorde is the one that said that. Think about that for a minute. Self-care is self-preservation. So why do we need to focus on self-preservation? Because you want to have longevity, because you have goals and you have dreams and you have things that you're trying to achieve in your life, but you can't reach the goal if you're not taking care of yourself. I wish I could see you guys and I would say, put up a hand so you could share, but what are you asking God for? What are you praying for? And if he gave you that, if he gave you the answer to your prayers right now, could you handle it? Are you prepared for it? Many times we pray for something big. Lord, I want to be a big speaker. I want to be a coach, or I want to be the CEO, whatever it might be. But do you know what goes into all of those roles? And are you prepared for that? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you living a balanced life? Or are you stressing right now where you are today? Because if you're struggling and stressing with where you are today, you're not ready. You're not ready for what you're praying for. That means you have to do the work. No one is going to do it for you. You have to do the work. So that means self-care is required. I have to take care of me. That means I have to set boundaries. Charmaine, how do I set boundaries? I hold on to the word no. Even if you don't like saying it, change it. Not right now. I would love to support you, but I'm not able to do so right now. How else can I support you? I can't physically be there, but maybe I can share a post. Maybe I can share your information. Maybe I can do some behind the scenes admin type stuff. There are all kinds of ways around it, but no needs to be a word that you can embrace because you have to set boundaries. There's no self-care if you don't have boundaries. You're not taking care of you if you can't say no. So we have to hold on to that, saying no. Me first. Me first. I can't operate from a deficit. And that's what many of us are doing because you're not sleeping and you're not eating right, because your stress is crazy, because your treadmill is holding your clothes and you're not on it. That is not it. That's not going to work. So in order to put those things back in place and be consistent and be productive, we have to put up the boundary. We have to say no. So figure out which way you need to do that. One thing I like to tell my clients is you teach people what to expect from you. You teach people how to treat you. So if they know they can always come to you and you're going to say yes, best believe that's what they're going to do. They're going to come to you because they know exactly what your response is going to be. So it's time to shake it up. It's time to change those things a little bit. Let them come to you and you give them a different response. I can't. You know, I was there last time and I would love to be able to help you, but I can't be there physically this time. Let me check my schedule. Just give yourself a buffer. Don't immediately say yes or immediately say no. Give a buffer. Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. And then really ask yourself, do I need to be there? Do I want to be there? Is this something that's beneficial? Ask yourself those questions. Because if you're bogged down because you've said yes too many times and the yeses are all on top of you, it's not good for you. And that's how times like what Kizzy shared can happen. That's how, even for myself, same thing. I'm ignoring signs. I have that tunnel vision. And so I'm not taking care of me. I could have asked months, maybe years before I got my diagnosis, but I just took the doctors and the techs at their word, popped the pill, and went my way. But as I said before, the pills treat the symptoms. They don't get to that root cause. But you're not pressed about finding that out if you have tunnel vision. So this is where I say slow down. You have to slow down in your life. That's the only way that you can have that balance. That's the only way that you can have that self-care. And again, you were not created to work, pay bills, and sleep. That is not why you're here. You're here for so much more than that. I want you guys to hold on to that. It's so important that you understand you're here for more, but you're not going to get to that more if you're not taking care of yourself. You can't fulfill that goal or your purpose if you're laid up in a hospital bed. You can't do those things. So you have to take care of you. Self-care is important. As Kizzy outlined, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, but also your environment. How does your environment look to you? Is home a place of solace and warmth, or do you go from a job to coming home where it's stressful and things are chaotic? If that's the case, it might be time to take an assessment about home. What about your social circle? How does your support look? Are you that person trying to be so strong you got it all together that you don't need any help? If that's the case, then there's not wellness when it comes to your social circle. That needs to be balanced as well. Your social circle should be a place where you feel safe, where you can share, where you can shed the tears and not have judgment, where you can go and get support. If you're like me and you're someone living with a diagnosis, you have to have support, and having that but with people that are going through some of the same challenges that you are can be so helpful to get through, because chronic illness can be a lonely place. Chronic illness can be a depressing place if you don't have the right mindset and you don't have the right circle. So those are some other areas that we have to focus on. Something else that can kind of give a glimpse that things might be off or alignment is off is even your financial wellness. Is Amazon still coming every day? You know how when COVID came, everyone had packages coming on the regular. Did that stop for you? Or is that still a regular thing? Again, sometimes when we're stressed and we have overwhelm and all of those things, we find the things that make us feel good. And part of that might be shopping. And so it might be a temporary fix, but when that bill comes, it's not soothing anymore. So looking at your finances can also give a little glimmer of what's going on. Am I well? Am I healthy? Maybe something that you need to look at. So wellness is overall. Resilience is necessary in you reaching those goals. But again, remember, you have purpose in this life. And to get to that purpose, you're going to have to focus on self and your overall wellness. So those are some of the things that I want you to take away today. No matter what you're going through, you're going through it for a reason. It's not just because. The hard times are not just something that happens. The hard times they serve a purpose in your life to project you forward. So hold on to those areas, hold on to those things. Figure out, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, I didn't understand going through MS, the diagnosis, getting forced out the military, but now I get it. I didn't understand sexual assaults, but now I understand because I volunteer and help victims to become survivors of sexual assault. Now I can have conversation with someone who is a single parent and struggling because I've been there. So it's all in how we look at things. How are you looking at those hard times, the challenges, the trials in your life? If you look at some of the speakers here, Kizzy has spoken and how that time for her helped her to be able to do what she does now, being author, speaker, coach. So what are your trials? What are they for? Hold on to that. Dig into that. Do some extra work on trying to figure that part out. I know it doesn't feel good. I know it can be a challenge, but they are parts of the plan. They are parts of the plan. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope it's been helpful. If nothing else, remember that resilience is like the S on your chest. It's like a superpower. You have to have it in order to propel forward. You have to have it to actually live your purpose and reach those goals. And one other thing that I would like to leave you with is, I don't care how old you are. You could be 19 or you could be 72. Every day you wake up, there's still a purpose for your life. Every day. You're not too young. You're not too old. You can still accomplish those goals. But it all starts with, after God, it all starts with you. Focusing on your health, your wellness, having balance, positive attitude. Those are the elements that are going to help propel you forward and get you to where you want to be. That in that superwoman mindset, those are the things that will help you to get there. So thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. I don't know if Theron is still there watching or not. Okay.
Thank you so much, Liz. Before anybody else has anything to say, I would like to say, I do take my notes. And both speakers have also mentioned about being intentional. Being intentional. And one thing that got to me was ignoring the signs, because there's sign, God gives you signs before destruction, right? There's warning. Absolutely. And we do, like, now I know my body a little bit more. You know, when I get a headache, I might need to check my blood pressure. You know, I don't like just say, why do I got a headache? Because I noticed that. So that way, hey, am I not drinking enough water? What am I not doing that is making this come? So ignoring the signs. He said she ignored the twitching, the eye stuff. Like, I have to, like, Theron, you might need to put your glasses on because you really kind of squint. I'm not used to wearing glasses, so I had to get used to wearing the glasses being over the 40. But one key thing I want y'all to take away, that I take away also, is you have to be the champion for your health.
Absolutely.
You have to be the advocate for your health. You can't ignore the signs. The doctor may say one thing, but you have to be adamant and fight for whatever is going on in your body. In both cases, like even with Charmaine and Kizzy, you know, she knew something was wrong with her. Like, when you just know, don't let that let them brush you off, because they will brush you off.
Right. Absolutely. Theron, I like to tell my clients, like, you should be able to teach a class on whatever health issue you have going on. It's that serious. You should know your body inside and out. So when something is going on, or if you have a diagnosis, if it's high blood pressure, if it's MS, if it's diabetes, if it's lupus, you should know your body and whatever you're dealing with, your condition, so well that you could be able to teach a class on it. That's how we should get. So when you go in and you ask your doctor something and they hit you with a prescription, you should be able to say, hold on, I read such and such and such, and ask them about it. Like, challenge them. They're not expecting it. But second, it helps you when you know about your body, when you know what the condition is, when you understand what is diabetes, how is it, like, really know the inside and out of those things. Well, tell me about high blood pressure. What should I know about this? You should be able to explain it. You should be able to teach a class on it. You should be able to say, hey, I'm hosting a Zoom at 7 o'clock about diabetes. Jump on and have a conversation with me. It should be like that. And once we are able to do that, you can really become a champion for your health.
And there's really no type of excuse for us not to be, because of the technology we have in our hand. Like before,
Absolutely.
before back then, you had to go to the library. You didn't necessarily, no people didn't have computers necessary all the time. But now we have y'all like to talk to these women on your phones. Siri, whatever the other girl name is. Y'all want to call it Lexus. Y'all want to talk to Lexus and Siri, okay? But we can actually do that because, like you said, I know that with me having diabetes, and they, you hear about the different medicines, and I'm like, well, Ozempic wasn't working for me because people swear by Ozempic, but it was giving me headaches, and I didn't like the nauseous feel. But then they're gonna put me on Mounjaro, but I'm like, if you said Mounjaro is almost the same thing, it's gonna probably do the same thing as Ozempic. So why would I want to take that? But you gotta do your own research, and we can. It's that we can't. We got
and they can't force you to take anything. That's the other thing that a lot of people don't realize. Myself, I have not been on MS medication since before I had my daughter, and she'll be 8 in October. And when I go and they're like, well, we would like you to try. Well, I'm good. You just showed me that there's no disease progression, and I just walked a 5K. So you're not going to tell me to take this medication that I have to come sit up here for 6 hours and do IV and then possible side effect. I'm not. If I can do it on my own through God, always through God, if I can do that with me and him, that's what I'm going to do before I go to medication. So people do need to understand you have the right to choose. You do not have to just say, okay, I'm going to pop this pill. Ask those questions. Do your research. If the side effects are scary of the medicine, tell them. Like, get that clarification. This is the only body that we have. So take care of it, and don't be afraid to speak up for yourself.
Exactly. And another thing you talked about, internal battles. Internal battles and the boundaries of saying no. And so, like you said, can you go over real quick again, like the ways? I like how people do need examples of ways to tell folks no. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because people don't like to say no. So, like I said, even with this, I told you this is a busy weekend for me. So I'm available between this time and this time. Like, people just, I don't know what the issue is. We're, especially as women, we are quick to say yes. So I like to say, just put a pause in there before you say yes, pause. Let me get back to you. Let me check my calendar. My schedule is really heavy right now. Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. Or especially with like social media sharing and things like that, support doesn't have to be physically being there. Support can be sharing a post, putting it on your page, putting it in your stories, taking a flyer to work, those kind of things. They're all support. So it doesn't have to be you physically being present. There are other ways to support.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that. People do have to realize there's other ways to support. You can, if you can't make it, you can buy a ticket with someone else. Hey, I can't make it, but I'm gonna buy a ticket and you can give it to somebody else. You can, whatever you want to do with it. That is another way to show support. And
and tell your friends. Tell your friends about the event. Like, even if you can't come, that's fine. Tell them this is going to be really good for you. You want to be there.
And at the end of the day, like I said, slow down. At the end of the day, the world and everybody is moving at a fast pace. You have to slow it down. Like you said, check your schedule. Like, sometimes I commit in my head. I don't commit to other folks in person because I might forget, or I realize I really don't want to go right now because I had a busy week. And so I don't commit to that. But I commit, but I said, oh, I tell my head, I would like to go to that event. I would like to do that. But right now, if I'm busy or I just need a break of not going everywhere, or just being still and being quiet, or just being at home, then I do.
Self-care, all that you just said. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I like to say, put it on your calendar and put everything around that time. If it's every third Friday, then it's every third Friday. Whatever you have to do, commit to you.
And Charmaine, I'm gonna put your information.
You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Let them know. I'm gonna go back and add your information on here, but I'm gonna send it out in the email. But let them know how they can reach you. I know that. Are you doing your challenge again soon?
I am going to wait on the challenge because I'm working on a big program.
Okay.
But as far as contact, everything is at Exalting Wellness. So I'm on social, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, all at Exalting Wellness. My website is exaltingwellness.com. And if you need to reach me via email, you can send me a message at info@exaltingwellness.com.
Good. I want to thank Miss Charmaine for coming on here. If you are in Middle Georgia tomorrow, she'll be speaking briefly around 2:15. That's a 2:15, right?
You did.
Yeah, 2:15 tomorrow. She's not gonna be there all day, but she will be there for a good 30 minutes on us on tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, talking again on self-care. I'm just so excited to whenever I hear Charmaine speak. I love how she speaks. I just love it. She drops nuggets every single time. But before we get ready to take our break, I was gonna do a break, but before we take the break, I want you to ask yourself, why are you still here? Charmaine touched upon it. That's why I want to go into it, and I want you to reflect for this 10-minute break to do what you need to do. I want you to ask yourself, why are you still here? I want you to sit with this question. I want you to ask God, why are you still here? Because I guarantee you there are some people that have been through what you have been through and they have died. I bet you they had complications from different diseases that you may have encountered. They have people who were in a car accident. There people have been in car accidents and you survived. Again, if you have given birth to children, women have died through childbirth experiences, or if you had complications, suicidal thoughts, and you attempted suicide, and you in the course of you still here, that it didn't go through. The attempt, it was just an attempt, it didn't go through. Why are you still here? That's a good question to ask. Charmaine talked about purpose and positivity. Purpose and positivity. Again, the question is, why are you still here?
You have stopped screen share.
One other thing I do want to share while you think about that, and again, on why you're still here, I do want to share this cute little girl. She has a Van. I'm not sure you know Van, but Van.
You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
I want to share it with you, Van. Her I'm gonna see if I'm able to pull it up. I thought it was pull up downloads. Miss Van, here it is, right here. She is so cute, but it starts young. We may be older, but we can get to some of this. This is Miss Van. Listen to this.
There is no one better to be than myself.
There's not one better to be than myself.
Today is going to be an amazing. Feels matter.
Today's gonna be an amazing day. Van here to play y'all. They be strong.
Hey.
Be great.
Hey.
Okay to make a mistake.
Hey.
Be gonna learn how to make you sound.
Hey.
Be kind. Be safe. Have a wonderful mind.
Hey.
Be positive. Be happy.
Hey.
Be positive, be happy.
Hey.
Be positive, be happy.
Hey.
Be positive, be happy.
You have
Hey.
stopped screen share.
Be positive, be happy. So as we get our 10-minute break, I want you to think of those things. Be positive. Here we go.
You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Be positive, be happy. And I'm getting ready to play us some music. Go and take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back with our next speaker, Namika Craig. And go back to that. There we go.
Mommy, mommy, mommy.
Come down to repeat. I've been waiting for the time to do it. And when there's nothing to hold me down, gotta do it. 'Cause I was telling you, I do it. Yeah. And I'm and If I wanted to be someone, you only said it down. Fit to the end. I'm fit the call. I'm so like I sacrifice.
Yes,
to the top. I'm staring at it. Said I'll never be so hard. Now I'm coming on screaming like a shit. Oh, yeah. It's now. I stand by the I do things at the top. I can't keep telling myself anymore. You think you beat me down, but I don't have a left. I'll keep getting up. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's gonna be the best. Something that kills you.
You have stopped screen share.
And we back to go in. I'm gonna let the song continue to play. And I'm gonna send the last email out, y'all. Gotta get the sponsorship money for the expo. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. We are back. And let me just check on Facebook for the group if anybody had any comments. Oh, Ms. Rose was on listening to her daughter. Okay. Ms. Rose. I can't see the comments. Okay. But we're excited to we're excited, right? We are excited. If y'all are just tuning in, we done had two amazing, great speakers on this online summit on today. We are coming up to the last hour. Hey, we were coming up to the last hour. And so let me share my screen one more time.
You have started screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Okay, so we're through with our 10-minute break. We talked about why are you still standing? But I have the opportunity to introduce our next speaker. This one is a recorded. Miss Namika couldn't be with us physically here today, but she is. We had an amazing session, and I want to play that. But I also want to read her bio. Namika Craig is a dynamic, highly sought after transformational speaker who prides herself on empowering individuals to live their best life fabulously through self-discovery, wholeness, and unapologetically on purpose. She's the founder of the Ultimate Girl Experience Empowerment Events, where she facilitates brunches, seminars, and workshops on overcoming the obstacle of that hinders one from achieving their goals. She is the CEO of Namika Enterprise, a personal development and content creation service company. As a writer, Namika, Fanika, I just text Fanika, but Namika utilized her gift to creatives tell stories and craft compelling content that attracts and sells. She's the founder of the Girl Affirm Yourself Crew, a social organization for women united to raise awareness of the fatherless daughter syndrome and developing you, a mentoring program for daughters of absentee fathers ages 10 to 17. She is a master storyteller. She utilized knowledge and wisdom from life experience with an innovative, proactive approach designed to help her clients be their best selves by providing practical solutions that help motivate forward in the destinies. So I present to y'all Miss Namika Craig.
All right, guys, welcome to our SuperWoman StillStanding Women Online Summit. It's your girl Farron here today, and I'm so glad that y'all are tuning in to this. Today is our interview with Miss Namika. She is a SuperWoman StillStanding from a lot of things, and I'm so glad we're able to have her come in and talk about those things. So real quickly, I am going to read a little bit about her. Namika Craig is a dynamic, sought-after, transformational speaker who prides herself in empowering individuals to their best life, fabulously through self-discovery, wholeness, and unapologetically on purpose. She is the founder of the Ultimate Girl Experience Empowerment Events, where she facilitates brunches, seminars, and workshops on overcoming the obstacles of life that hinder one from achieving their goals. And you know, that's all we're all about. The theme for this SuperWoman StillStanding experience, our 4-part event series, is the strength of a resilient woman. So that's why she's in the building. She is the CEO of Namika Enterprise LLC, a personal development and content creation service company. As a copywriter, she utilizes her gift to create and tell stories and craft compelling content that attracts and sells. Yes, she is the founder of the Girl Affirm Yourself Crew, a social organization for women united to raise awareness of the fatherless daughter syndrome, aka daddy issues, defining and developing your daddy, DADY, a mentoring program supporting the daughters of absentee fathers from 10 to 17. Namika is a gifted purpose coach dedicated to transforming the lives of others from the inside out through self-awareness, mastering the mindset, and building the confidence and character required to walk boldly in purpose. In her most recent Bald Reveal, a confidence campaign entitled Uncovered and Ashamed, she revealed the truth of losing her hair to alopecia at the age of 10 to the world that was covered by weave for 33 years in hope to empower women to embrace their flaws, use their voice, and operate in wholeness and authenticity. I'm so glad we have Namika on today because, yes, she is still standing and still here for her purpose, and she's still standing from alopecia. And Miss Namika, I want to ask you a few questions, breakout questions, before we get started for you to tell your story. Let me ask you this question. What did you name your first car?
What did I name my first car?
Yes.
Ooh, my first car, I don't even know if my first car had a name. My first car was given to me by my parents. So I was, Ebony was my second car's name. That was the car that I purchased myself.
Now, if you had 1 meal a day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
At this time, fruits.
Fruits, okay. What would be the title of your autobiography?
Still Standing.
Yes. And so what is your favorite fruit?
Peaches.
Peaches. And what is your favorite Bible verse? This might be a hard one for you. What's your favorite one?
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not into thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct our paths.
Yes.
I've had to say that one a couple times today.
Well, again, I want to thank you so much for saying yes to being interviewed for our online summit. I know I read the bio. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure thing. Thank you, Theron, for having me. It is an honor, a pleasure, and I'm most elated to be here to feed your flock. So thank you for welcoming me onto your platform. I love the bio and all that good stuff, but I'm a roundaway girl from a small town in Snow Hill, Alabama, Wilcox County, one of the poorest counties in the state of Alabama. I've been in Atlanta for 22 years. It will be 23 in October. I moved to Atlanta. I came to college. My major was residential interior design, and my life took another path. My life took a different path, and that is the path that you see today. Empowering women and girls all over the world, helping others to see the good, the great, and the God in themselves. Empowering women to believe in who they are according to God's word and not the world's standards. I help visionary women to, I will put it in layman's terms, discover their purpose, overcome obstacles, build confidence, and monetize their gifts so that they can live a life of abundance and freedom. How did I get there? Is because there was a time I wasn't living in abundance and I wasn't living in freedom. There were times I was living in abundance in one area and I was in bondage in another. And I discovered that there is a strategy to living by the biblical principles. And when God took me through those layers, because I did a post the other day, confidence is like unpeeling an onion, and we go through layers in life. And then if we veer away, you know, when you're peeling the onion, you might unravel a little bit and it get all scraggly and ugly, and you have to get back on track with it. It's just like when the tape get off track. If you get the tape off track, you can't use the tape. So we have to go back to our foundational principles that I was talking to you about earlier that I'm going to reveal to my audience. And once we get on track with the order of things the way God designed them to, is when we become more fulfilled in life. So those are the lessons that I learned. Taking my own path, traveling and doing things my own way was only a detour. But the lessons that I learned on that journey are valuable to the work that I do today. So I live with no regret. And I encourage my followers, I encourage my clients and anyone sitting in audiences that I speak to never regret the derailment, the detours, the disappointments. They don't feel good, of course not. But we can't live in regret because like Jeremiah 29:11 says, he knows the plans that he has for us. And even if we feel like we have veered off those plans, no, they were part of the plan because he knew we were going to veer off. He knew. We didn't know, but he knew, right?
Yes.
So that bio and all the good stuff in there, that's what it all boils down to. Serving purpose, walking in my calling, and helping others to do the same.
Yes, and another reason why I love her, y'all see her earrings, y'all see her color of her background.
Yes, we twinning.
You love her red color, she loves the color of her, but just like I did, embracing the royalty who we are.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things you did mention, likely is, and I mentioned it in the bio, was that you're still standing here from alopecia. And you said that you started discovered you had alopecia at the age of 10. Let's talk on that.
Okay, so my story with alopecia is, let me make it very clear that because I'm a believer and I know by the stripes of Jesus we are already healed, I don't proclaim the disease alopecia. I do recognize it and respect and honor everyone who is suffering from the condition, the illness. My story was, my mother had put a perm in my hair when I was 10. and she would take me to the beautician. And this particular time I went to play with a cousin at our cousin, it was her aunt, but my cousin. And we went to, I was playing with her that weekend and she got a retouch. And from my understanding, what happened was she put the retouch in my hair without consulting with my mom, not knowing that I had just had a retouch. So she put the retouch in my hair and my hair immediately began to fall out. And to my understanding, that's what they said triggered the alopecia. They introduced me to weave. I probably went to the doctors maybe once or twice, but you know, as a young girl, your parents don't want you to be embarrassed or ashamed. And I remember distinctly going to a braider. And at that time, I had enough hair that they could braid the weave in and cover the bald spots. So they were braiding my hair, but the braids began to pull out the rest of the hair. So someone introduced my mother to quick weaves, to weaving my hair, weaving and covering it up. So, you know, that was a quick fix for me. Okay, as long as I have some hair, I can wear it. And I went on the rest of my teen and young adult years, and it just didn't matter to me. You know, in those years, you're not thinking about hair care. In those years, I'm not thinking about go to the doctor, let's see, can we get your hair to grow back? I'm just living life. You know, I can get a hairstyle, it's cute, it's good. But then around age 38, I began to become convicted. Like, I don't want this on my head. Like, oh, I gotta get this off my head. Ooh. I went from having to have it strapped down on my head all the time to couldn't wait to get it off. Then I started praying and fasting about it. And God said, how can I heal what you keep covered up? Then as he called me into helping other people build confidence, I heard distinctly, specifically, how can you help others to build confidence when you have an insecurity you haven't dealt with? So I began to do my self-work in the mirror. I began to do what I call this mirror work. And I would face the mirror and I would say affirmations to myself. And I would stop wearing the hair and I started shaving my head. And I began to look in the mirror and tell myself that I was beautiful with or without the hair. And that's what I began to see. That's what I began to believe. And I did this work before I ever came to the public. So when I turned 40, I came out with the confidence campaign, Uncovered and Unashamed. I wore it for 33 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when I did that confidence, Uncovered and Unashamed, it helped to set many other females free. Some of it had to do with them covering up their balls, their hair under the weave, and some of it had to do with many other issues that had them in bondage that they weren't free from. And they wanted to uncover, they wanted to be free, they wanted to feel, you know, normal and didn't have to mask issues, because that's what it's really about, is masking the insecurity. So as long as I could throw the weave on and cover it up, I look normal like everybody else with hair. Well, hey, I'm normal without it too. I'm normal without it. So I had to come to terms. I had to come to Jesus, talk to, like, Lord, you said our hair is our glory. Why'd you take my glory? You know, why'd you take my glory? I have this powerful anointing and influence over people, but I don't look like the people you got me talking to. So why? And I had to come to terms with this was just a part of the journey for me.
Because I understand women in our hair. And because like this is my first time actually wearing braids as an adult. And because I used to be not, I guess getting older, I had braids on the edges. I'm braid out on the edges, and my edges are thin. When we talk about being ashamed, I guess I was a little ashamed. My edges were thin, and now I'm graying out. I'm like, how could I wear braids? And I got, you know, but this right here is helping me to be more confident. My friend was telling me, I see more confidence in you. I am now, because look, it's all out. My thin edges, my grays. Sometimes I try to do a little color, but it's showing. And that's who I am. And with the Superwoman Still Standing, we are standing from a lot of different things, and we have to embrace who we are. Give us 2 or 3 tips on embracing who we are as women.
The first tip to embrace who you are is to go back to the foundation, who God says you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in his image. That is from the inside out. It has nothing to do with the exterior appearance. It has to do with how you feel on the inside. So number one, embracing your flaws has everything to do with accepting who you are internally. I am a beautiful person inside. I'm a great person. I'm a giver. I'm a helper. I extend my hand. I'm a seed sower. I live with the righteous. So you get to see yourself through God's eyes, and then the external will be able to match that internally, right? So whatever is on the inside flows on the outside. So it's about doing the internal work to be able to embrace these flaws. And that's what I did. I did the internal work. Well, this hair doesn't define me, or the lack thereof. This weave doesn't define me. It's not a necessity. I don't need it. But if I want it, I'm going to wear it. Like now I'm tired of wearing the bald head. I'm going to get me a hairstyle. Okay. Number two is when you can embrace who you are, you can embrace your flaws when you build your confidence and self-esteem to a point where you don't care about what other people think or say, that you're not seeking validation, that you don't fear judgment, that you know that Jesus came so that we may have life and have it more abundantly. He didn't come to condemn us, right? We can get convicted, but we should not be condemned by other people, right? Because other people have their own insecurities and flaws. They may not be visible, right? Mine just happened to be, one of mine happened to be visible, right? So you can see that flaw. But there are some people who are walking around masking things that we can't see. But it may show up in their character. That doesn't make them any better than we are. So no fear. Get rid of fear. That's how you can embrace. Get rid of fear. And then the third one, always celebrate. I always say celebrate yourself. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrate every small victory, because that celebration is a confidence builder. Right? And it starts with you. Like, don't wait for other people to celebrate you. I celebrate the fact that I have hair growing in places where I didn't have it growing before I uncovered. And it was due to me allowing my scalp to breathe. That gave me some hope. Okay, yes, I need to start working on my scalp because I believe in full hair restoration, but I have to do my part. So I would say, you can embrace who you are and your flaws because you have to know that you're doing your part to improve whatever they are. When you become self-aware, there's nobody that could tell you anything about you. You could come to me and say, hey, Namika, oh, I think you are this or you are that. And if you're self-aware, you're going to say, you're going to be able to receive that because you know that. But what they may not know behind the scenes is that you're doing the work to improve on that. So they can't condemn you.
You said two things that I love because I'm with, you said, get rid of fear. Get rid of fear, they got an acronym for fear that I like to use as well, is false evidence appearing real. We like to, faith and fear, you're both believing in something. You're both, that's right. Fear, you're believing in something, and faith, you're believing in something. But fear, she said, get rid of fear. Get rid of that false evidence appearing real in your mind. A lot of the stuff we just overthink over stuff, and it's all in our mind. That's right. And that's why we're scared of stuff. Even sometimes that fear, people project that fear onto you. Don't do that because of blah blah blah. Whatever it is, they're projecting that fear onto you. Yes. Sister friend Taraji Henson said that they were projecting the fear onto her when she decided to move and go to the West Coast.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. When her and her son to the West Coast with no family, not one, too many people over there, but she went.
That's right.
Despite fear.
That's right. And we have to go. We have to do. We have to continue. Fear is always going to be there. I don't tell people that fear doesn't exist because it does. We have to do it scared, right? Because you only overcome the fear by operating in faith. You only can combat the fear by operating in faith. So you make the faith move, and the fear will fall underneath your feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to prove to yourself, not everybody else, but you're going to prove to yourself that you can accomplish that thing, that you can complete this task, that you can start procrastinating, that you can achieve this goal. You're going to prove to yourself. And once you prove to yourself that you can do something, it doesn't even matter if everybody else believes you can do it or not. They're just onlookers. Some of them are there for sincere reasons, and some of them are just there to see if you're going to do it, because they don't believe that they can do it. They don't believe you can do it either.
Right.
But once you combat that fear, you can, it's levels. Fear is always going to be present. It's always going to be present. But you're in control of the fear by operating in faith.
Exactly. And you mentioned about, which I love to say, and this is what all SuperWoman Still Standing, our online summit and our meetup we're having, if you're local here in Middle Georgia, our Middle Georgia meetup is all about celebrating you, the woman that is still here and still standing, walking in toward your purpose. Because even us as women being here, one of the things that we can celebrate for us is we are women that are still here, is still standing from childbirth, because some women have died in giving birth to children. And that is something we as women that are here, that are still living, we do take for granted. That we gave birth to a child and we're still living and walking and doing what we need to be doing.
That's right.
Yes. And I want to ask you about, give us 2 wins that we can help celebrate you on. Give us 2 wins that we can help celebrate you on.
2 wins?
Yeah, 2 wins.
I would say the first win would be I overcame the fear of quitting corporate America. So I worked miserably in the job when I knew that it was time for me to leave. But the fear of the unknown kept me longer than I should have until I went into a mental breakdown. And God gave me the okay. This was back in April. Gave me the okay this year. And I quit. I put in my resignation, my 2 weeks letter notice. I didn't even stay the 2 weeks. I didn't even stay the 2 weeks. And lo and behold, I received another opportunity doing what I love and love what I do, loving what I do every day, and that's writing. And that was a prayer, and I prayed and fasted every day for 3 years. I created an affirmation. For those of you who don't believe in the power of affirmation, you must believe in what you're speaking when you affirm, right? When you speak words of affirmation, don't let them be vain. There has to be an energy, there has to be a spirit of belief behind it, what you're saying, no matter how long it takes. And I set it as my alarm, and it says, "Good morning, Amika. I am so happy and grateful now that I wake up to do what I love and love what I do every day, making 7 figures, doing it with the help of my team and my staff. I am so happy and grateful now that I come and go as I please. I work on my own time. I set my own schedule, and I live a lavish life of freedom and abundance. And I live that life every day." Wow. Every day since April 6th.
Y'all take note of that. Y'all take note of that. We're gonna have it up on the screen somewhere, her affirmation, so y'all can do your affirmation according to what you want, but something similar to what she just said.
So every day I looked in the mirror, even when I didn't feel like it. If I got off track, there were days I was down in the slumps. I pick myself back up. I'll say that affirmation. Some days I turn the alarm off and then get up. And then I'll snap out of it and say, hey, God gave me this vision. I know this is not the life that he intended me to live, to work somebody's job and make this little bit of money and just barely get by. No, this is not the life that he designed for me. And everybody's path is different, right? If I would have just waited until I had, what do they tell you? Wait until you have some extreme amount of money saved up where you can afford to pay 3 months of your bills or your mortgage and rent or whatever. That don't happen like that for everybody. especially when you're dealing with God. God, you have to make faith moves. And I'm not telling anybody to quit their jobs, but I'm telling you to consult with your creator. And he will lead you. He will lead you in the right time to do that. And you won't miss a beat, because there has been nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken since I made that decision.
I want to ask you a question before we get on to your second win. When you said that you had to, even though you didn't feel like it, you were still in your slump. How did that, what kind of motivates you to even continue to say those things? Because you're like, I don't feel it. It ain't happening right now. I mean, let's help the women to understand how did you, the process that God kind of helped you. I know we all get into, depression can come and it's okay to be that way, but it's not okay to stay.
Believing that what I see for my future was real, believing that it just, this wasn't it. Like, that's what brought me out of it. Like, this, I can't carry this on. Like, this is just not it. I believe that there's something better, that I have to get up. I have to get up and do it, even if I don't feel like doing it. I have to do it. I have to. Take your break, take your time, because I did. I went on a 4-month sabbatical. When I came back from sabbatical is when I had the strength to quit.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So you can scale back, you can take a break. Don't do what the hustlers are telling you to do, to just hustle and bustle till you burn yourself out. Trust me, you don't want to do that. It's mentally, emotionally, and physically draining. If your body feels like it's shutting down, if your mind feels like you're gonna lose it, stop. Take a scale back. Fast, pray, relax. I ain't do nothing. I stopped wifing. I stopped cooking. I stopped cleaning. I stopped mothering. I stopped friending. I stopped doing anything that wasn't pertaining to my soul healing, personal development, gaining my strength back, believing in the vision that God gave me. It's okay to take a scale back. On my Facebook page, if you guys go back to a couple months ago, there's a live entitled The Slingshot Effect. And while I was on sabbatical, God gave me, where's my slingshot? It's in the drawer. He gave me a slingshot. And I gave a message on the power of being pulled back to be propelled forward. The further you're pulled back, the more force you have to go forward.
Oh, and I gotta go do that.
That's what he did for me. And many others, I've witnessed it in their lives. So don't be afraid to scale back. Just know what voice is speaking to you when you scale back. Know if it's the voice of the adversary to get you to quit, so you won't manifest the things that you desire and deserve. Know when it's God saying, hey, let me talk to you for a minute.
Yes. Because there's a point in time when for like a whole year, I did not do nothing extra besides going to work. Normally I would help here, I do that. But I know that someone said, unless you were asked, unless somebody really asked, seeks you out, or literally knocks on your door or knocks for you for that thing, I did nothing. And it felt good, not really just taking a scale back and watching and be more aware of what's around me, on who's doing who and what's doing what. But when I got back, I'm moving forward and I'm going at it hard.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It takes that sometimes.
So what is your second win we want to celebrate with you?
Let's see. My second win is I know what my second book is going to be. I have I started writing on it, but I think God wants me to publish it in 2024. So I'm still praying about that. And I believe it's going to be even more powerful than Girl Affirm Yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we think those are my 2 professional wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the professional, okay, before we get ready to come to a close, what's 2 personal wins?
Personal win.
We're all about celebrating you. What was personal win?
I feel whole. I feel whole. I feel happy. I am peaceful. Not to say that everything is perfect in life, because nothing ever is, but I have a peace that surpasses all understanding right now. I think that's a good win because
It is.
I didn't have that, and I know a lot of other people who don't have it. And I have learned that regardless of what arises in my life, not to stop, not to quit.
Not to stop, right? Because the winners don't quit themselves.
That's right. That's right.
And which one more? Besides you feeling that more?
What is a personal win? We done thought of something when we get out the hill.
I got one for you.
What is it?
Having a son that graduated college.
Oh, yes. I done talked about that one so much. About people from God, me talk about. Yes, my son, who is very gifted and anointed for dance, but his college major is mass communications, which we know you can do many things with that. So he's at that stage where he's still trying to figure himself out, figure out what he wants to do with it. So yeah, I'm very proud of him.
How old is you?
25.
Right, and also for having a 25-year-old Black boy that's still living.
Yes, that's, oh yes.
I mean, it might be small to others, but for us,
really
that
big.
is a big accomplishment.
It's really big. Let me tell you what I thought about the other day. How funny that our prayers have to be so specific now. And this is something I haven't even said to anybody else, but I said it, like mumbled it under my breath, and I was praying. I think he had went out the door or went somewhere. And my prayer now is always, Lord, protect my son from all manners of evil. Protect him from the police. Protect him from the criminals. So you have to be very specific, because now you got to pray that our Black sons are protected from the police, the people who are called to protect them. So I just thought that in my mind, and I was like, wow, we really have to say that prayer. We really have to say that. Like, don't just protect them from the fools and the criminals, like protect him from the law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now I am truly now an empty nester, and I'm now, I guess when my son, he was not necessarily, I had moved, and so I wanted to stay in the same district for the last semester of school. So he stayed with my mother. And so I really wasn't, even though it's only 15 minutes away, I wasn't checking my phone for him as much. But now that he's away in college, he's still only 45 minutes away. I still check to see where he is. I'm checking the location on my phone. I said, okay, he on the field. Okay, he's in his dorm. Okay, he's on the move. I'm still checking.
It does not end.
More than when he was like 15 minutes away.
It does not end. I used to be so frustrated with my mom, because she would, oh my gosh, when my sister was in college, she would be so panicky. She would making me panicky. Like, I would be fine knowing, like, oh, she in college. She's not gonna answer her phone right away. She might not call you back as soon as you call her. And every time she couldn't get my sister, she would blow my phone up. You talk to your sister today? And she still does it when she's at work. I call your sister, she didn't answer. I'm like, Mom, she at work. And she at work. Like, isn't she at work today? And so she does that. If I don't answer, she calls my sister. You talk to Peaches today? That's my name. You talk to Peaches today? So we laugh and we joke about it. But now that I have 2 young adult children, it is so nerve-wracking. Like, and it's not that you don't trust God. It's just the innate thing that parents have that cannot be explained if you aren't a parent. If you are not a parent, you will never understand it. And I don't care if they're down the street or if they're somewhere. There's just this feeling that you are not at ease until they are in the house. So I don't know how it's going to be when they move out and get into their own places, which it won't be long because both of them have a time frame, right? My daughter is in hair school and she finishes in January. So she has a particular set time after she finishes that to get into her own place. My son is here to the end of the year and in the house with me. So I know how I felt when he was away in college. Like, I literally had people, like, I would call his roommates. Like, if he didn't answer, I would call the dorm people. You know, all right, Could you go to his room? He's not answering on this occasion. It says he's at the dorm. But I have been texting and calling him for the last 2 hours, and girl, he would be in his room sleep. Like, just not returning phone calls. And I'm like, son, you cannot do that. Like, if you don't feel like talking, you have to say, I don't feel like talking, I'll call y'all back later or something. All be in a frenzy, like, well, he didn't answer. Have you talked to him? You talked to him? We'd be on the group chat, texting each other, and he'd be somewhere just asleep or hanging out with his friends. And I'd be like, boy, you just about to make me lose my whole sense of, my whole sense of self. Like, can you just text back and say, so I don't know what it's going to be like. You know, you think you're ready for that empty nester life, and they think that they are so ready for it. Oh, they think they're so ready for it. Wait till these bills start flying in. Right. But yeah, it's life. Life be lifing.
It does. And before we go, I just want to ask, let people know where they can find you at. This will be, again, this is on September. Today is September the 8th. This is pre-recorded, but we are filming this on September 8th. I know that we'll be doing something for alopecia in September. So let everybody know where they can find you at and all the good stuff. We will post the information somewhere on this video, all the information, but I want her to go ahead and say it as well.
Awesome. Before we leave, I would like to thank you again. Thank you for having me today. I've enjoyed our conversation. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok. I'm building my TikTok, y'all. I'm learning this TikTok thing. At Namika Speaks. So all platforms is at Namika Speaks. And my website is namikaenterprises.com. That is where everything is housed, but for all social media platforms, it is at Namika Speaks.
So y'all make sure y'all go follow her on all social media platforms, because do you have a weekly online live that you come on weekly?
I do. It is called Confident Conversations Live, and it is live on Facebook every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I am trying to get it's set up where I can do Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So that may take effect this week. So if you follow me on Instagram, look for it. If you follow me on Facebook, it is currently in motion on Facebook every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. And the topic changes every week. Sometimes I have guests, which I call Gold Friends. We didn't talk about the Gold Friends movement, but Gold Friends are our accountability partners and the women that we connect, collaborate, and conquer with in our personal and professional lives. And sometimes I bring women like yourself, Darren, onto my platform, and we talk about various topics that can help make life more fulfilling and empower other women on each other's platforms.
Yes. Again, thank y'all so much. Remember to go follow Ms. Namika Speaks on all her platforms, and we will see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. All right. That was Namika. It was an excellent.
You have stopped screen share.
That was an excellent segment of how she's still standing from different life adversities. And one of the things she is still standing from is alopecia, right, guys? Like a lot of us, maybe not a lot of us, it could be just me. Our hair and the way we style it and all the different type of stuff that goes on with it, it can affect your confidence. It can affect who you are. It can affect how you're showing up. It can affect all of that. Thank God that you can have some hair if your hair won't grow, wigs or cranial, what are they calling it for the medical term? But you can put wigs on, you can weave it down your hair, you can braid your hair. If you ain't got no hair, you can add you some hair. You can do so much with hair. And sometimes that
keep us from being confident and showing up in better. Again, like I said in there, look, someone said I got more confident with these braids. Yeah, because this braid showing all, look, it's showing all the thin edges. I just naturally have thin edges. And you can see all the gray, right? Sometimes I try to cover up with wig. We can cover up so much. But like when you're authentically you, when you are who you are called to be, then you can shine, your light can shine more. You can be more, as my old coach would say, authentic, AWE, than the all of you and who and how God created you to be. Yes, I just want to thank all of my speakers. I want to thank everybody that had we're not finished yet though, but again, y'all.
You have started a screen share. Participants can now see your application. You are screen sharing.
Again, y'all, text 478-992-0122 to let me know what you are still standing from. I want to talk about, guys, she talked about community and connecting, and I want to talk about me relaunching. If you've never heard me talk about Swag Tribe, that is a Superwoman Around the Globe University tribe that I've had before, and I am actually relaunching it.
Hello, Theron. First of all,
I'm actually relaunching it starting this month. And let me tell you a little bit about SWAG. SWAG stands for Superwoman Around the Globe University. It is an online community for women 40 and up. If you're 35, 38, you can come on in too. But for women 40 and up, because we're in a different space than the women that are in the 20s and the 30s, our mindsets are a little different. We have dealt with more life than they have. And I just wanted a community of women where we can talk some real talk, that we can empower each other, glean from each other, get tips from each other, going through different situations, whether you're divorced or whether you are a MOP woman. That stands for Married on Paper. Ain't that cute? Married on Paper. Whether you're newly single again, I'm single again, back on the prowl. Whether you're a single mom, whether you're a mom of older children, young adult children, like she said, that's a different space from when your children are at home. Like you are constantly maybe thinking about them, checking their location. If you're still paying their bill, checking their location, if you got an Apple phone, stuff like that. So we talk about different things. We talk about different subjects at hand. As far as, let me give you some topics that we have went over. We have had business ambassadors, one of our ambassadors, Shanita Evans, to come and talk to us about health and wellness. We got a lot of wellness experts, because that's something we definitely don't talk about. We always, hey girl, let's go here. We're quick to go get something to eat, but we need to share some tips on how to get our belly out our lap, how to do better in our age that we are, because at the end of the day, y'all, they're killing us with different things, and we want to make sure that we are mindful on, like a lot of the women have saying, ignoring the signs, being more intentional in our health, because it's easy to ignore the signs. I'm about to try to pull it up, but it's easy to ignore the signs. Think about it. It's just so easy and quick to ignore the signs. We had Nika Arnold, the founder of Wifey Rehab, Katie Littles with When God Puts You on a Pause. We talked about general startup basics. We talked about I'm not my weight, how to be confident at any size or shape. We talk about why your to-do list is sabotaging you. Just little subjects. What are you using your words against you? Empowerment, just empowering us in life and in business. And I got a testimony from Lisa. She's probably not even on here, but I want to share Lisa's one of our founding members' testimonies.
Hello, Theron. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for allowing God to use you on this platform of Swag You and the Empower Hermit calls, for the text that you send out every morning that brings so much encouragement, so much inspiration. There have been days when I felt like giving up or not moving forward.
Your default microphone has changed to MacBook Pro microphone, MacBook Pro microphone, and will now be used. Your default microphone has changed to MacBook Pro microphone, MacBook Pro microphone, and will now be used. Your default microphone has changed to Yeti stereo microphone and will now be used.
Thank you.
There on the Empower Sunday night, we get together and you pour out encouragement there on the Empower Hermit call. It's been such an inspiration. I think of it as my own personal support group. Thank you for the women that you bring on that's always pouring into the lives of your listeners and the members of that particular call. Also for allowing me to be a part of the platform and to share what God had given me to share. So I just want to thank you for that. Continue to do what you do. Continue to allow God to use you as you change the lives of the women that you come in contact with, as you continue to make an impact in the world and an impact in the lives of those that are around you. So again, just thank you for everything. I pray that God bless you with the absolute best of his blessings as you move forward. I pray that doors will be open unto you, that God will enlarge your territory, that God will expand your capacity to receive all the great things that he has in store for you. And again, I just want to say thank you.
And so text SWAGU, SWAGU for more information and to get on the waiting list. We are today is our initial launch date for the rest of this month and until October 14th, you will be hearing about SWAGU and why you should join this online dynamic, amazing group that we are about to kick back up. A little more information. We have bi-weekly. At that time, we had weekly empowerment calls on Sundays. Empowerment calls will be bi-weekly this time. We have twice a month. We'll have our empowerment calls, but you'll get the daily texts sent to you on a daily basis. Sent to you, as well as we are having a monthly quarterly book club, because our quarterly book club was actually going to start in October. If you're part of the Motivational and Inspirational Techniques Club, we are about to start our book club, the fourth quarter, our first book. And also we, depending on what tier that you have will come in, we have a more intimate circle called the intimate group called the Power Circle within SWAGU. And that is be more serious about I hate to use the word leveling up, but exploring more deeper within yourself. So you're more serious about you have a business, so you're more serious about getting some tips, more pouring into you, more getting back, more me looking at some of your stuff, what you got going on. Promoting some more of your stuff, as well as just a more community network in the Power Circle. We will have monthly Q&As. You can ask me any question dealing with life or business. I'm not a life coach, but I can help you with something, but mostly with business stuff. A lot of women are starting a business, career, speaking. I've done a lot of different things. Marketing is one of social media marketing, and marketing is one of my fortes. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's why with Empower Media, we are a business support agency.
These humans entered the waiting room. Close, admit, view. Press CMD plus U to manage the waiting room. These humans has entered the waiting room. Press CMD plus tilde to open pop-up or go to the participants panel to admit participant. These humans entered the waiting room. Close, admit, view. Press CMD plus U to manage the waiting room.
We were just talking about you, Miss Lisa. I just showed them the video
testimonial video that you did for me about Swag U. But yeah, this time around we are doing bi-weekly empowerment calls. We'll have our we're getting ready to start our book club in October for the people that are part of the MIT, that's the motivational and inspirational text message club. We are about to start that. I'm going to send the details out. Our quarterly book club starting in October, and I chose a quarterly versus a monthly because we're busy. We got a lot of things going on, and I don't want you to be like, so I read this every single, read a book every single month. But if we start and have a meeting in October, a little bit in November, and cap it off in December, you have 3 months to read a book, and I give you some time to actually, oh yeah, I forgot about the book. Start back reading, because that will help you with our mind. We got to take better care of ourselves as women. We had to take better care of ourselves. Is that it? Yep. We had to take better care of ourselves as women, and one thing is in our mind. If you're interested, and before I do my close, if you're interested of even seeing what the MIT club is, that's the motivational inspirational text message club, where I send motivational inspirational text message to you and how we can communicate better. You can go to SuperWomanStillStanding.com/MIT-club. It's $8 a month, or $82 for the year, for like a whole year. I did a special for my birthday. I'm doing it for $44. So if you're interested in getting it for $44, I haven't sent out the link yet because that's the wrong link. But I am going to still do it for $44. You can text the number, the 478-992-0122, type in 44, and when the link is available, I'll be able to send you the link. If you're interested in even joining or hearing more information about Swag U, go to SuperWomanStillStanding.com/SwagU. That is our wait list, because we're going to begin our empowerment call starting in November, but we are launching it and getting you excited for it and to get into the group. We have some bonuses and some stuff going on in October, so you want to get in there early so you can get to the bonuses that we are going to start for Swag U, and you'll learn more about Swag U. Again, there's going to be 2 tiers for Swag U. That is our regular swag tribe, the swag tribe. To get in the swag tribe, I'm doing a special. Put a little number, $44 for the month, $45 a month, or you can join the Power Her Circle for $144. Again, the Power Her Circle is more intimate group of women. We're going to be talking about life in business. We got some more businesses. We'll have some guest business speakers that will just speak to the Power Her Circle. These are the women that are more serious about their business. They want, hey, there, I know that you're good at giving ideas. There, hey, there, I know that you're good at marketing, social media, coming up with different kind of concepts. You're catchy with names. You got a lot of resources, some technical things, some software things. That's where I'll be diving more into the women in that group that are more serious about their taking their business to whatever level they want to take. I ain't saying to the next level out or 7-8 figures. I haven't made 8 figures yet, so I can't say that. But I can just help you to expand your brand, help you to get more visible, for potentially some more profitability. But I'm excited about that, y'all. At the end of the day,
You have stopped screen share.
I want to thank everybody that has came on and listened. I want to thank all my speakers that came on. We had Kizzy, Charmaine, Namika. We had one guest, she wasn't able to make it on today. But y'all, if you took notes, go back and watch the replay. You can always fast forward. The Facebook group is Power Her Lounge, the Power Her Lounge. So you can always go back and just watch the replay. It's on YouTube too, because I had to do some things, but you can always go back to watch the replay of this amazing summit, talking about not ignoring the signs. That's what Charmaine's thing. And Kitty, she got to get a shirt that says, "No more self-neglect." And self-neglect is ignoring the signs. So we're not going to do that. No more self-neglect. because we're not going so well. As your mind says, ignore the small signs, that headache, you know about your body, study you, right? If you're part of the Swag You guys, we are gonna start out next year on our Uology course. Uology is a study of you. No one is talking about studying you, studying how God made you, your quirks, your inner stuff, and learning more about what God wants you to do. He's our creator, for he knows the plans. Charmaine Tuster said she had her plans. She had her checklist. You know them was it called type A people? I'm gonna do this order. I'm gonna do this and that. She's really well disciplined, and got her stuff structured in order. Like my man says that I need structure in order. She's very structured in order, but guess what? God had other plans. God had other plans to use the skills and stuff that he had put in her in another way to help other people. We as Superwoman, one of the things of the mindset of Superwoman is, we have to realize that we don't necessarily go through stuff just for us. Like Charmaine said, now she can talk to somebody about being a single mother. She can talk to somebody about battling a chronic illness and how to overcome that not necessarily on your own, but maybe in partnership with a doctor. In partnership with a doctor, they can you can do that. She can teach from her experience, and now had not been on medication for her chronic illness. She can teach others how to do the same, how she overcame, how she's eating better, incorporating exercise, balancing, listening to her body, and doing right. All right, guys, this is the end of the summit. Give me a hand. Clap of praise, round of applause. Thank you so much for tuning in. To all my Facebook replay viewers, thank you so much if you watched it up to this point. I'm so excited. Superwoman Still Standing. Thank you, Superwoman Still Standing. Another one in the books. If you follow me or my stories, I posted some stuff from like 5 years ago. I did another Superwoman Still Standing sip, shop, and share. Today, in the Middle Georgia area, if you are in the Middle Georgia area, I am doing a collaboration of Superwoman Still Standing Day with other women groups. Make It Happen Sis, Single Moms Connect, and Superwoman Still Standing. We're having a physical meetup on today. Tomorrow we're doing a self-care Saturday. And let me tell you one thing, the tickets are rolling in, right? The tickets are, I'm gonna show you tickets. Let me share you something on when you're doing an event. Let me share something with you. Sometimes the ticket sales, depending on where you're at, may not come in when they need to, but keep on pushing and don't stop. I don't care if you got 2 people that signed up. Keep on pushing it anyways. The people will come. If your belief is you believe it, the thing is, if you believe it, you can achieve it. But yes, if you continue to push that thing and believe so, your angels and God, your heavenly army will work on your behalf and get them people to your event. All right, guys, it's your girl Theron here. Thank you so much for tuning in, tapping in to the Superwoman Still Standing Day online summit. It is National Superwoman Still Standing Day, a day to celebrate you, the woman that is still here and still standing for your purpose. These are our official shirts. Yes, let's say, hold on. This is the official shirt. Purple is the shirt for this year. I'm excited about that. If you want one, let me know. I can order you a shirt. But the next thing that's up is Self-Care Saturday tomorrow and the event today. So October is our expo. We normally do it in September, but they didn't have my event day. They didn't have my event menu in January. They didn't have my event I want on the day in September. So we got October the 14th. So that's the day that we are doing for the 6th annual expo. October the 14th is the next thing. I hope you sign up for the wait list for Swag You and being part of our swag tribe that we are relaunching. And thank you to everybody that came on here. Thank you to our founding members. We have Ms. Lisa that was, you saw her video. She's on here. Thank you for supporting me. Then everybody was supporting me, but Lisa and your sister Katie and Shanita, those are our founding members of Swag U, our lifetime founding members of Swag U. We thank them so much. They're important to me by showing up. They had kept me encouraged by showing up. I'm not gonna cry, but it just meant a lot that they showed up. You know, you see the strongness of people. But sometimes we got doubts inside. We have stuff too. And when people support you like that, who you don't really know per se, but we get to know each other throughout the years, but you don't meet them like in person at first. I never met Lisa in person. I met her sister Katie. We had met up in McDonough. But I met them online through something. They found me, I found them, and we connected. I love the thing of the internet because you can connect with folks you don't physically know, and y'all become like friends, y'all become associates, and y'all support each other in the different things that they're doing. And you bring them in the platform, and you support and elevate them. When one wins, we all win, right? And so I just want to, again, Lisa, thank you so much for being on the empowerment calls. For your gift of encouragement that you do for what you do for your community, for your mentor program, for the incarcerated families that you help with the different programs that you are associated and affiliated with. I want to give you your flowers, Superwoman. Thank you for what you do for the community. Thank you, Kizzy, for coming on here and being a nurse practitioner and doing the things that you do to help your clients. Thank you, Charmaine, for keeping on raising them boys that are doing excellent, doing well. Your baby girl who's 8 years old, doing well. Your marriage, like, yes, like, look, shout outs to you. I am so proud of you, see, of where you overcame. I know your mama is so super duper proud of you, and thank you for all that you do. If anybody has to make a comment before we leave, I gotta get ready for the next event. I gotta get ready for the next event tonight.
Theron, I just want to say thank you for continuing to push forward and continue to do what you do. You're such an inspiration. I thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I would just like to say thank you, Theron. You already know how godly proud I am of you. Over 20-something years now. Yes. I know where God has brought us from. I know where we came from. And I am glad that God has allowed you to build in the midst of coming up through the concrete, like a beautiful flower or a tree that had to press and push to become what that we see today. So I thank God for allowing you to press through it all and to continue to develop what he's given you. And I know that the end, the latter will be greater. So I'm just thankful for being a part of your journey and for God allowing us to become friends and then develop a sistership. So yes. Blessings.
Thank you. Yes. All the way to 97.
Everybody, I just want to say thank you for this time. Theron, always thank you, because you reach out. You know I'm a support no matter what. I can't wait to see you walk into your next. I can't wait to see big things for you. You've been at it for several years. I mean, everybody knows your girl Theron, and I'm just so proud of you. Everything that you've accomplished, everything you've worked through. So I'm glad to see happiness in the personal sector and in the professional sector. So just wish only the best for you. All love, always.
All right. Thank y'all so much. I gotta be there. I gotta do a photo shoot real quick and then my next event. But thank y'all so much, and y'all have a great day.